Hi, I'm Tara Halliday, the Imposter Syndrome Specialist. I work with C-level executives to get rid of their imposter syndrome for good. Now, imposter syndrome is the secret feeling of being a fraud when you're not, and the fear of being found out. And it affects 70% of high achievers at some point in their careers. If you've seen my other videos, you'll notice I talk about the symptoms of imposter syndrome: the procrastination, the perfectionism, the deflecting praise, the over-preparing, the getting overwhelmed, getting stressed. And all of this is really quite intangible. So I decided to take a look at what it actually costs financially to have imposter syndrome. Now, I have a few examples from my clients. One CEO didn't negotiate their salary, and so they left £30,000 a year on the table. And this was over a period of 6 years, so it cost them £180,000. Another client was a government consultant, and he didn't put forward £100,000 worth of proposals over the period of 3 years because he didn't feel quite good enough. Why would they accept him? So he didn't even bother. These are talented people who are being held back from reaching their potential and the satisfaction of that by their imposter syndrome. I decided to explore what imposter syndrome costs high achievers financially, and this is what I'm sharing with you today. Here we have a graph of one particular CEO's earnings over 35 years of their career so far. And they started off, as you can see here, as an engineer, earning just under $20,000 a year, promoted to senior manager, got to be CEO at the age of 41 and has had CEO position since. When we added up his total earnings over 35 years, it was 3.2 million. I am using average values of CEO salaries. So in the UK in 2022, that was £125,000 a year. So at the corporate executive and CEO level, these salary values are much higher than I've shown. A common imposter syndrome behaviour is to avoid or delay your promotions. So if we took this one career path here, kept it identical, but delayed one of the promotions, being promoted to a manager, a one-time delay of 2 years, which means that following the same career path, they made CEO at the age of 43, 2 years later, still very good. And their earnings over the 35 years were 2.95 million versus the 3.2 million that they would have had if they hadn't had that delay. That's £250,000 of salary lost over the course of their career because one promotion was delayed by just 2 years. What if this delay wasn't a one-off, but was a repeating pattern, which is very common for imposter syndrome? Here you can see in blue the original career path, earning 3.2 million over 35 years. And in grey, we have the identical career path, but every single promotion is delayed just by 2 years. Just 2 years, just a little bit longer. It doesn't feel like that much. But you'll see that they do make CEO, but much later. They make CEO at the age of 53. And their earnings are 2.1 million over their 35-year career, not 3.2. This means the imposter syndrome cost the CEO £1.1 million over the course of their career. Now, you might think that that grey line was more of a gentle career, less demanding, less stressful. But actually the opposite is true, because when you have imposter syndrome, you're not working as effectively, you're not working as efficiently, you're working longer hours. You're more stressed, you can easily get overwhelmed. You're constantly looking over your shoulder, worried if they're going to fire you soon. And it's extremely stressful. It can affect your sleep, it can affect your relationships with your family. And then there's the frustration of knowing that your potential is higher, knowing you could do more, yet not feeling like you're quite good enough. And of course, if we're talking about the corporate world with CEO salaries ranging from 200,000 to over $1 million, then this gap is even bigger and the potential loss of earnings is much, much bigger. Now, I don't tell you this to make you feel down about yourself, depressed or frustrated with yourself, and certainly not to beat yourself up. What we're doing here is getting clarity of exactly what imposter syndrome can cost. You can ask, what might it have cost you? All this serves to emphasize the magnitude of the problem, how significant this is, and how big an impact it has on your life. The good news is you can completely get rid of imposter syndrome with the right techniques, so you can get yourself onto that blue line, reaching your potential and having less stress, feeling more comfortable and enjoying it more as well.